inside the 2021 SRT Durango. Now for the 21 model year, Stellantis has given the Durango lineup as a whole a mid-cycle refresh in the form of a largely new interior space. The dash layout, some of the material choices, and the infotainment system are all new for the 21 model year. I will say this, it is a welcome change, and they finally brought the Durango in line with some of the other strong offerings Stellantis currently has, the form of the Ram 1500 and the Pacifica. It is a welcome change because the prior generation Durango interior was far from the asking price, in this vehicle's case, $80,000 to $90,000. This is a very welcome change. The new infotainment system is Android Automotive. They moved away from the prior generation Uconnect systems. You can now do things like over-the-air updates very easily. There's some more security in the head unit itself, and it's faster to react than ever before. Things like Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are easy to use, and the menus are quick to jump through. They still rely heavily on physical controls, which is very, very welcome, and all of the ergonomic strengths of prior generation Durangos remain here, which means it's still a very usable three-row SUV. When you fold down the third row, it is beyond cavernous. This is almost like a minivan substitute. And the SRT tidbits like the Recaro-like seats still fit a wide variety of body types, and there's still great visibility in this cabin. So with all that said, let's head into the shop to talk about the technical changes for the 21 model year. Well, Mark, we're underneath the Hellcat Durango, one of the fastest three-row SUVs currently available. This is 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds, and the quarter mile in 11.5. And for whatever strange reason, now Stellantis, it's no longer FCA, has decided to make this for only one model year.
Yeah, because this was completely necessary to make a three-row SUV into a rocket ship. And because it's going to be so rare, I don't know why they're only making it 1 year. There's really no explanation. Probably some restructuring.
Probably.
Or whatever.
Now that SRT is being folded into regular Dodge products, they got rid of the bespoke or entirely separate SRT division, or folding the engineers in with everyone else. That could be some of the reasoning behind it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's here, and if you want it, you only can get it for 1 year, and I'm sure you're going to get bent over to buy this. So what do we have here compared to the other Hellcat vehicles that were the SRT products that we've looked at?
So there is an SRT Durango that you can still get moving forward, and this basically takes that vehicle, does some aero changes to the front and rear, makes some suspension changes that the SRT Durango will then carry on in future years to make this a more capable SUV for whatever reason. Because you need cornering grip in a three-row SUV.
And we'll talk about a lot of that on the drive, of course, but so I think the main thing to talk about here is it's really, they're taking the same technology that they've developed on the Red Eyes, the regular Hellcats, the Hellcat wide bodies, the Demons, and whatever other...
This is an incredibly tried and true drivetrain at this point. And as we mentioned in all our other videos, at least now, they seem to be able to hold up to abuse. The guys at, now it's like Radford Racing, it's no longer Bondurant, have used these things for a long, long time, and they don't have a lot of failures, which is impressive.
Yeah, and by taking this and adapting it to each different model, all they have to do really is make subtle tweaks. Like, they already have the Bilstein partnership and the electronic tuning, the EPS tuning, so now it's just going in and changing a lot of the electronics, remapping it for the weight and how they want the ride character to be, and compared to this, versus the Trackhawk that we drove, this is on the softer side, and it's way better for it, but you still have the same transmission. The Torque Flight, which is a ZF gearbox, it feels identical to pretty much all the other automatics. So what else is there to say? What does this do that the other ones don't do, Jack?
It has three rows, Mark, and that's the reason you would get this, is the packaging element of it. And again, the aero changes compared to the regular Durango. It's like 400% more downforce, which okay, and the rebound and perches are different than they used to be. They've gone to a stiffer spring and damper perch. They've also changed the rebound characteristics to try to make this thing have slightly better body control, and it understeers a little bit less in the corner.
Okay.
No one cares.
Nobody gives a shit about that. What they care about is the tow and go package. So you can tow 8,700 pounds for about 50 miles before you run out of gas. And that is really the big highlight here.
And 710 horsepower and 650 foot-pounds of torque.
The numbers, right? The numbers. If you want to know more about the technical part about this, watch every other SRT video because we talk about this in greater detail. But for now, let's just get this out on the road, Jack.
All right.
What are we doing out here?
We're exploring the limits of a three-row, 710 horsepower SUV, Mark.
A minivan?
A minivan.
yeah. Holy shit.
Well, if your T levels were low before, Mark, they're definitely going to be nice and raised.
Oh my God, this thing is incredible. To be honest, when I got in the Trackhawk, which is the closest competitor to this, I was really disappointed in how shitty the ride was.
Yeah.
It was way too firm, and I know it was trying to be kind of like that half track SUV, half whatever.
To me, it totally, other than the acceleration, it totally missed the mark in the usability category of an SUV like that. It rode way too firm, and if you drive something like the Cayenne S, there's proof that a sporty SUV doesn't have to ride like shit. This Durango, however, because of the longer wheelbase and some suspension changes, rides amazing.
It rides really good. It's something that I have thought about in great length. I would love to own this. There's just a few deal breakers because nobody else cares about anything else other than the speed. The fuel economy is horrendous. This thing is an absolute dinosaur. You could argue, maybe some people would argue the seat quality. And
there's some things that aren't ideal, but what they did with the interior now, it's pretty decent.
It is, but...
Wait, let me put this in launch mode.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. How could I do that? Let me put my foot into the firewall. Yeah. Oh! The whole idea of braking takes on a different world in this thing. Even Jack's foot was buried into the floor to try to stop this thing. Well, it is enormous, this thing. There is so much weight. It's like driving a pontoon boat around. And I think it's hilarious because I would rather take the softer ride than have to deal with getting beat up. You're going to do one thing in this. Just be an asshole. Yeah. And you're going to have to use the brake pedal. Oh, man.
There is something primal about the enjoyment you get out of this thing. And that's what SRT does really, really well with their Hellcat-powered line of products, whether it be the Ram TRX, this thing, or the Hellcat Charger and Challenger variants. It's a uniquely Dodge experience.
I just want to take this off a couple jumps, dude. I don't even care about anything else. It doesn't matter, really, Jack. You're buying this because it's a last of its kind.
Yeah.
It is extremely expensive, but I was in such a bad mood this week. I was in a horrible mood. And I went out for an appointment yesterday, and I took this thing. And I was late, of course, like I always am. And I took it out, and I drove about 3 minutes, and I took all my rage out on the accelerator. And I went from kind of being pretty much pissed off to extremely happy. It was like I just got done beating up, just got done bullying like a 5-year-old. It gave me such satisfaction just to...
Hey, this is the first time I've seen you be a complete and utter gorilla in a car.
Oh God! The only thing I can say that this reminds me of, I'm fully constipated for a week. I just had a hot fudge sundae, and I just had the biggest stool of my life. That's the satisfaction that I get from driving this.
All right, let's talk about some of the nitty-gritty real quickly, Marcus.
Okay, it's fast.
Yeah, it's fast.
It's fun.
The gearbox is very similar to what the Trackhawk was tuned like, meaning you really need to keep it in automatic. The manual mode is responsive, but you run out of RPM so quickly, and when you hit the rev limiter, it takes a second for it to
the manual mode, like every car of this type, is trash.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't, the digital digital tachometer doesn't keep up with the shift speed. So you're constantly like, you hit shift and then it's too close to the red line and it does crazy shit. You leave this in automatic, and when you're in the track mode automatic selection, in the SRT modes, it will downshift for you as you come into high G-force situations. So in a turn, like when we were back there, it was already downshifting. Under braking, it was already downshifting for me. So really, you don't have to use the paddles.
The trans logic is excellent. The ride quality, it's a little on the stiff side, but it's still very... The suspension tuning will let you hop it around a corner like that, but it's on the firmer side without being totally unpleasant. And if you do like a really stiff ride, you can put this into full track and knock your fillings out. Other than that, man, the car's amazing. If you want one of these, just go out and buy one.
Yeah, bring it over to my house. I got some shit I need to haul.
All right, Mark, let's get into the final thoughts.
Final thoughts on the Durango Hellcat. Yes, as the title suggests, it is stupid, unnecessary, and amazing at the same time. Now, Dodge claims they're only going to build this for 1 year, and they've already kind of partially stepped back on that. They're going to make more based on demand. So who knows? If the money keeps rolling in, they may keep making them. But the main thing is, this is designed, at least on their marketing side, for someone that wants a family hauler, but also likes muscle cars, go figure. And that is part of the charm of the Durango Hellcat. It is insanely fast, it is super comfortable, and you could put people in it and use it every day. But you have to be okay with a few things. Its obnoxiousness, its looks, and the utter evisceration of your fuel tank over and over again. There's not much like this on the road, and there's a really good reason for that. Again, it's almost pointless for a normal person, but if you appreciate everything that this brings to the table, and you can live with its defects, the interior's better, the ride quality's better, the performance is better, it's quite a special SUV that I think is very short for this world. Thanks for watching, I'll see you next time.
Hi, I am Skylar, the official Savage Geese chatbot. Would you like to support them? Patreon is a great way. Feel free to head over to savagegeese.com and click SG Merch. Part of the proceeds will be donated to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention.